So how did things go with your last release?
Slow, but it's okay.
Cool.
Those dips in the career, you know what I mean?
Right.
Radio is so full of, there's so much competition. So much competition.
Yes. Okay. Mr.
You have to expect some are going to do good, some are not going to do as well. Well, you got great artists out there that are vying for radio space, shelf space. You got your Mariahs and your Aretha's, and you got your Luther. I mean, you name it, and you got all these kids. I can't remember all their names. But I can't begin to think and remember all these kids. They're out there. A lot of them are great, you know. So, now, I guess not everything is going to go to the top of the charts, but you know, we always keep our fingers crossed.
Right. Mr. Pendergrass, and after I ask you a question, you might hear a clicking sound. That's just going to be me pressing a mute button on this end, so we don't get any background noises over here. Okay. Let me just ask: Did your book, did it actually come out? Is it in stores now?
In October of this year.
Great. Okay, so we'll be looking forward to that. Is holidays something that you celebrate a lot, like 4th of July and Labor Day, Memorial Day? Is that something that's very festive in your home with the family?
It can be, but I don't like to discuss it with a whole lot of people what I do with my family. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
I gotcha. Not a problem. Are you in the studio now working on some new music?
No, I'm not. I finished my October, soon-to-be-released Christmas album for '98. It's done, completed, in the can, and I'm happy about that. And I'm not going to start another record until probably after I come off the promotional tour for the book.
Okay. Did you say that was a Christmas album?
It's a Christmas album that I finished, yes.
Great. Tell us about it. Is it all new material, or have you done some standards as well?
I've kind of split it in half. I've done some songs that were standard, but what I like about it is that the concept I wanted was non-commercial, nothing about Santa Claus coming down a tree, nothing about snow and things that are meaningless to me. These songs are about, for me, the meaning of Christmas, which is the birth of Jesus Christ. It's about Christ and about relationships, and that's what it's about.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Let's just talk. But today, what brings us together is there's a greatest hits album through EMI Capital with some of your best music on it. Just tell us a little bit about that.
You know what? I'm just happy that I've had, or that I have music that people can call greatest hits. You know, that there's a demand for a re-release of my music. That's extremely complimentary to me. I really don't think about it, but when they told me they wanted to do it, I went, oh, great, that's wonderful, because there have been a lot of great artists in the years. There are some now, there have been plenty, and to just be complimented like that is, I hold it in high regard, so I'm happy about it. I just hope that other people like the idea, that they go to the store and buy it, because for me, because it's my music, I think it ought to be re-released. I love it, but I don't know how objective that is, but I love it doesn't mean everybody else. I know they loved it when it was out, sold a lot of records, but maybe it's time for another generation of people to really hear the music that we did back in the 70s, because it's truly great, great music.
Absolutely. Did you know that Keith Washington was a big fan of yours, and he was very influenced by your music?
Yes, I met Keith before, and he said so, and I'm very honored by that. Very nice.
Yeah, it's such a great, from the top to the bottom in terms of your music. My wife even is a great fan. When we first started dating, actually, when how you get to know a person, and we were talking about different music, and it's timeless. Your music, the hits that you've done as a solo artist, as well as the that with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Just behalf on my generation, people in music, I just want to say thanks to you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Just want to talk a little bit more. Now, you did you actually done some stage work with Stephanie Mills and B.B. Wine, and Your Arms Too Short to Box with God. Have you thought about doing another stage production, a play, or anything like that?
Yes, I've thought about it, and I've thought long and hard about it. I'd like to do some producing. I'd like to produce a stage production of what yet, I'm not sure. Got a few ideas, and I don't want to say them too prematurely, but I'd like to work with a couple of writers and come together with some interesting stage productions that I feel will take us over the long haul. So I'd like to do that and have my company produce them as well as work in them. I've also had a lot of thought about maybe, just maybe, doing a stage production of my life. Could be interesting, but at this point, it's all just conjectures. We're just thinking about it.
Well, that's how things get started, right? We got to, just formulate those ideas. That sounds promising. Sounds good. How about working with other artists? Has your company taken on any other vocalists in terms of singing? Have you thought about working with other artists, and molding them and, producing and kind of just using your skills to mentor younger artists?
Not a lot. I'm looking for the gems, and I have a young guy who I've had with me since he was 12. He's now 17. He just graduated high school, on his way to college. His name is Corey Williams. He's a gem to me. Now that he's out of his high school, I think it's time for he and I maybe to do some real serious work. I've let other people in the industry hear him. They love him. He's got good skills as well. He's a great kid, come from a great family, and extremely bright. He has all the qualities that I like, as well as my son now is wants to be involved in the business. So I don't know, and he surprised me. Doesn't sound bad. I listen to him. If he proves to have the things that I feel he needs to have, then we could have a second-generation Teddy Pendergrass. Who knows?
Okay. I mentioned Your Arms Too Short to Box with God a little while ago, and you had worked with Stephanie Mills on that project, as well as the two of you recorded music in the past, Two Hearts, Feel the Fire. Have you and her talked about doing any more work in the future or coming up?
Yeah, we've talked about it, but I don't want to say too many things too soon. I don't want to do anything prematurely. But yeah, I would be elated if we could sing again. It's wonderful. She's a great talent. I enjoyed doing it then. I would enjoy doing it now.
Okay. We're talking about your greatest hits re-release just prior. At the point when you had hits with like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, like Bad Luck, Wake Up Everybody, the list goes on. At what point did you decide, or I should say, what was it that made you decide to strike out as a solo artist?
Timing. It gets more involved, but I don't want to start discussing all of that in an interview. It gets long and drawn out. Some things aren't as pretty as it could be. It's in my book. You read the book when it comes out in October, you'll see it all. But timing. I'll just say timing.
Okay. Among all your many recordings and hits, or if you can just, I'm sure they all have a special place for you, but would you just tell me two of one of the recordings that are most dear to you, either with Harold Melvin or as a solo artist?
Boy, you're asking me to go through a ton of music. And I'm not saying this to be flip. They all, as you said, have a special place. I like them all for different reasons. Be For Real. There's all these songs that have a meaning for me and for places I've been and relationships and things I've experienced and places I've seen, things I've done all through my professional career. So, I mean, they're all of my babies. I can't really say one or two that have a more special meaning than the other. Certainly, Wake Up Everybody was a pivotal song in my career. With that song, I think I took a little bit of my own suggestion, that's when I left the group after that song. So that has a special place. But before that, there was a few. After that, there are many. Since then, there's a lot. Can't really say. I just say Wake Up. I use Wake Up.
Thank you. When you actually did decide to go solo, when you struck out as a solo artist, did a lot of writers come to you in suggesting different tunes to do, or did you go in search of them? How did just kind of reflect with us a little bit and tell us about that process initially in putting your first projects together?
What's this? After I left Harold Melvin?
Yes.
Oh well, there's nothing really to say. I was still with Gamble and Huff. Didn't have to go to writers. The writers were with PIR.
So everything was right there in house. Okay. Do you have any children?
Yes, I do. I have children, grandchildren, and I'm a happy grandpa. Papa, not grandpa. Papa.
Great. May I ask how many children do you have?
I have 3 children. I have one adopted daughter who's I don't consider her adopted, but she's also one of my children, and another stepdaughter. So my 3 plus 2, and a slew of grandkids.
Wow. Have you seen any spark in any of your children or grandchildren in terms of wanting to take after Dad or Papa?
Well, as I said, my son, I said that to you earlier, is showing a big interest in wanting to follow his father's footsteps. So I said to you earlier, if he shows the kind of promise and has the things that I feel he should have, there could be a second generation Teddy, Pendergrass. So we'll still see. The other kids are babies; they're too young to even for me to even consider them being in the business. They're just young ones, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. They're just kids, babies. They need to play and ride scooters and play in wagons and all that stuff.
Right. Not be so concerned with heavier thoughts. Yes, you did mention that earlier. I was just wondering if they were, I don't know, more than that. Is there anything you'd like to add? Let us know about.
No, I'm fine. Everything is cool. You were very good. Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Bye-bye.
All righty.